Hi everyone. Hi. I apologize if you were on here before and I cut it. I just kept getting a message that the signal was weak and I just figured, I'm just going to start all over again and go inside and so that I can have a strong signal and not have to worry about if people can hear me or not. So it looks like things are better now, and I'll start over about talking about to be present and how I use that with families, especially parents with their kids. And I talk about, I'm just going to explain this part over again about how, and let me know if you're on here, because that's going to help me know that you can hear me and that the connection is okay. So when we're working with kids, it's just really helpful for us to think of, one of the ways it's helped me is to think about setting aside my agenda. So in my mind, the agenda that's in my mind, and there's millions of things, whether it's my list of things to do, to how I expect my children to respond to me, that having an expectation or an idea or this agenda of what it's supposed to look like or what our play together is supposed to look like. Setting that aside. One of the things that was said, I had forgotten about this, is that when we're really present, there's no resistance. So that whatever comes to us, we're not like, so if our child, and it doesn't mean you can't set limits, but if our child is coming at us and playing in a way that we weren't expecting, or that requires us to get more involved or to be a little wild, that we can, hi Shelly, so that we can, if we have no resistance to that, we can go with it, right? We can move with it. And that's really what it means to be present with it, is to not have resistance to what's happening. And that you're just looking at what's happening in that moment. And that's how you can be really present. So to not have an agenda, to not have resistance, and that's a hard one. I mean, I think they're both really hard. And then the third thing that came up this weekend for me in this conference was to have that to be present is to enter into the mysterious. And really what that means to me anyway is that when we're really present, we don't know what's going to happen, and we're okay with that. So in our culture of wanting to, so we in general have a culture where we want to control things. Most people want to control what's happening every minute of the day. But when we're in that space of wanting to control things, our mind is busy working on that. Because especially when we're with somebody else, we can't control other people. And so to be present is to enter into the mysterious, to be able to say to yourself, whatever happens here in this moment, I'm going to be okay. I'm going to accept it. I'm going to go with it. I'm going to be part of it. And again, it doesn't mean that we can't set limits or decide that we don't want to be part of it, but it's in that particular moment that we've entered into the mysteriousness of it, that we're not having a preconceived idea about what is supposed to happen in that moment. And so it's so funny how to be present is a complicated thing, isn't it? But as human beings, and especially with our busy lives, it is incredibly challenging. And so just to reiterate those three things is to set aside your agenda just by like, okay, I'm going to let the things that I'm thinking about and worrying about, I'm going to address those later. That's how I do it. I forgot the second one. So the second one is to have no resistance. So, and part of no resistance too is that when things come up in the present moment, things can get sticky. right? When we have resistance, when we start to have like a feeling about something, it can get sticky and weird and strange. And so the having no resistance is just letting things unfold, letting that happen. And again, it doesn't mean that we can't make a decision to change things, but what it does mean is that we can be a part of what's happening, if that makes sense. And then make that decision. Because again, like, we can't control the people around us. And so letting those things unfold and then making a decision what needs to happen. And then the third part of being present is to enter into the mysterious and not trying to control the outcome and not trying to, I think control is the biggest issue there on that one. And being okay with the unknown, right? Like, most people I know struggle to be in a situation where they're not super clear what's going to happen next and what is happening in that moment. And that's actually a function of our brain and how much we use that. Our brain wants to make sense of things, and our brain wants to make sense of the world. And if we've had a lot of hard things that have happened and traumas, we even want that more, because we know that the unknown might be really hurtful to us, especially if we've had hard things that have happened as a child. And so if we can have a practice of being okay, and I see this in myself a lot, where I'll be in a group of people, and sometimes, like, to me, it's important, like, I've got a tight schedule, I've got to figure things out, I need to know what's going on here and there and there. And other times it's like, okay, at this conference, for example, they didn't give a lot of detail of what was happening, but I also knew that it's a conference I went to this last weekend that I wanted to be there. And I trusted, like, I knew enough about the presenters that I trusted who they were. And so I said, I'm just going to trust this. And every part of the process was amazing. So I didn't care what was next, right? And I didn't have to know all the details. And I was okay with it being mysterious. I was okay with not knowing. So, hi, Hema Alini. And I'm actually just finishing up here. And so you're going to have to watch the replay. But I'm excited about practicing these things and thinking about the different ways that we can practice being present. And if one of the 3 things I've talked about today connects with you more, just practice that. Just do that, and see what comes up for you, and work on the things that are in your way of being present. So thank you so much, and I'm happy you've been here, and I hope you have a beautiful, amazing day. Bye-bye.